Hello, what's up, everyone? Thanks for watching. There's a few things going on in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. Apparently, Johnny Depp has a few film projects in the works, and so does Amber Heard, sort of. Please subscribe before I go on to my channel, and please like this video. So let's get to it. Apparently, Johnny Depp is making a return to the big screen. He's playing King Louis the 15th in a film. And in similar news, Amber Heard is going to be doing a film in which she's gangbanged by 15 dudes. I don't know if anyone's heard this. So apparently, uh, a adult film company is offering Amber Heard. I don't know how much money, but I think they're saying they would cover her expenses, whatever she owes to Johnny Depp, whatever she's liable for in the defamation suit against her, to do a porn film. So that doesn't fare well for her career. It doesn't sound like things are really she's getting back on the horse, sort of. But it seems like his career is just kind of this whole thing. I when I first was talking about this, I was saying it was kind of a mistake for him, and I thought it might not be the greatest. Optically, it might not prove that well for him because they were, reading a lot of text that just kind of didn't sound very good, because it was a lot of him, calling her the C word and, a lot of it just sounded like he was very unhinged in a lot of his texts and audio and stuff like that. But apparently it did, excuse me, it did work out very well for him because he's doing this movie. I think this is like a big studio movie, the first one he's done in years since I think they said it was the last studio movie he was doing was in 2020. He was doing that Fantastic Beasts movie. I guess it's a spinoff. And he got fired from that. And I heard recently that they are going to actually bring him back for the next one because that's all they really care about. This whole thing, it's like odd how it actually kind of re-energized and galvanized his career. And it totally destroyed hers. I don't know how well she was doing before this, but it's definitely pretty much over now. And I will say I do think it's a lot harder for women in these situations. And I know everyone, a lot of people watching this and a lot of people watch these things, they really don't like her. And, I can understand that. But regardless, in the past, when I've seen that, if a woman in Hollywood has done something, people come down on them harder. It's harder for them to make a comeback. I think that's just kind of across the board. That's kind of how it's worked. And I'm not saying, she didn't, warrant any of it because, if you're going to go out and you're going to, defame someone and tell lies, spread lies to try and ruin their career, then, you're kind of bringing it upon yourself. So, and I don't know exactly what happened between them, but I will say she didn't seem very credible a lot of the times. And, yeah. And, they went to court and they got a settlement in front of a jury, and that's how it works. And you can't really do anything about it. If in the court of public opinion, people are willing to forgive him and give him work, that's how it goes. That's how the ball bounces. So, and then I think there was another thing that he's directing a movie with Al Pacino. So that should be interesting. I'm glad that things are working out. All right. So this is another thing. So basically, Amber Heard is trying to appeal this decision because I guess she doesn't have any money. Which is what I'm wondering if she should do that porn thing. Cause at this point, what does she really have to lose? If they're going to pay all her money, I bet you they would do some kind of a deal where it wouldn't have to be a hardcore movie. But if they were just look, you need to be nude into a sex scene that's pretty graphic and maybe kind of soft core ish, we'll give you $10 million. I don't know, what the hell, do it at this point. It's we're kind of in this world now of, OnlyFans and all that stuff. It's just sort of that's what she should do. She should start an OnlyFans because she would make a lot of money that way. And she could do, a whole separate offshoot, fetish OnlyFans where, people could be like, hey, I'll give you $2,000 if you come over and take a crap in my bed. All right. That could be her specialty. $10,000. You get the crap special. I'll personally come over. All right. Um, but oh yeah, so I guess she's hiring. She's fired her old legal team, and now she's getting a whole new legal team for this appeal. And it's about time. I guess she's firing that one, because her legal team was crap. They were just so bad. They were like some of the worst lawyers I'd ever seen. And the problem was his lawyers were so good. I don't know who the lawyers he hired were, like, or where he found it. I mean, but they were like amazing. And I don't know where she found these people. She look up in like the yellow pages or something. Because the one woman, I've talked about this before, like during the trial, I mean, she just didn't know how to ask a question. It was like she had never been in court or in a trial and asked a question to a witness on the witness stand. They they objected to every single thing she said, and the judge always sustained it. So she didn't know how to ask questions. That was a big problem. So I feel like that's a big, that's a big requirement you should have of your lawyer, that they know how to ask questions in trial. Like, you should be like, yeah, do you know how to ask questions in trial without getting objected to every time? The problem is whoever she gets now, even if they're good, it's kind of too late, because the main problem with this trial was that you had one shot at convincing the public, and that's what this a whole thing was about. I mean, mainly for him, for John. That's why Johnny Depp brought this whole suit, was because his career had been ruined. So he was like, I need to get a career back. So I need a judge. I need to get my side of the story out there. He was really smart to do that, and he got his side of the story out there, and she didn't come off very well and was not very credible, and that's all he needed. So I don't know what she would do in this appeal. I guess the whole point of the appeal is to not, so that she wouldn't be liable and wouldn't have to actually pay the money. So because I get the feeling she doesn't really have any money. uh just because I don't know, she doesn't seem to work very much anymore. And I think Aquaman 2, I think she might have gotten money, but I think it was only a couple $1 million. And people don't understand. I mean, like, for an actor or something, like a couple $1 million, they made a big deal in the trial saying that that was her biggest payday, that she had ever gotten. And I know this sounds like weird, but like $2 million in showbiz to an actor, it's like, so first of all, you got to take away about, I don't know, a third of that for taxes. So you're at maybe, like, let's say you're at 1.5 million. Then you have to take off, I think, like 25% for like the people that manage her, like her agent and her managers, her representatives. So if she's lucky, she's ending up probably with like 900,000 of that 2 million, which, I mean, again, that's great money, but it's not like going to last you for the rest of your life, especially in the style that she was accustomed to being in. So I don't know. I don't know what her net worth would be, but I would Google it, but I don't think that's very accurate, because I've Googled my net worth, and it said $14 million, which, is way off. It's off by at least 2 million. But I thought that was very good news when I Googled myself and I found that I was worth $14 million. Um, and so, oh yeah, that reminds me, join my Patreon. um, but I don't know. I don't know what her net worth would be. I would get the idea that she didn't really, save a lot of money. Apparently, like, she definitely saved money on her lawyers. And I don't know if the thing was, but I think like Johnny Depp might have had to pay for her legal fees when the trial was happening. I think that was probably part of the settlement, that he has to get reimbursed the legal fees he paid. But either way, I've talked about this before. I don't think it really matters with him, the money. I don't think it was about the money. I think it was just to get his career back. I guarantee you, he has money. He doesn't really need it. I think it was just kind of getting her off his back and getting his side of the story out there, which I think he totally, obviously, he accomplished in spades. So to wrap this up, I know this is short. Basically, it seems like Amber Heard, at least right now, is probably pretty screwed. It's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad sign in your career. First of all, like, if he's starting to work again, that's kind of showing that the industry has taken a side, and it's clearly not her side. And that is a very spiteful small town. And if you kind of um are not in the good graces of the town, they turn their backs fast. So I don't see any. She's not going to get hired for any big studio thing. I mean, look at like this is a sad thing. R.I.P. Anne Hayes. She just died a couple of days ago, and I was reading stuff about her, and it was it sounded like apparently after she came, her big thing was when she was dating Ella DeGeneres. She was heterosexual, but then she started dating Ella DeGeneres. And I don't, if you weren't around for that, it was like 1998. It was a huge story, their relationship. It was just like this like insane zeitgeist pop culture moment. But there was a huge backlash against her. And then I think when it fell apart, apparently Ellen DeGeneres is a total bitch. From everything I hear about her, man, she just sounds like a monster. And I guess after that, she said her career was just, her reputation was just ruined and dragged through the mud. And she just couldn't get a studio film. She could never get a studio to hire her again. So I think she had a really, really rough time. That's got to be rough. Like, that's got to be a nightmare, becoming famous and then not being able to work in your industry anymore. And I think that's kind of where Amber Heard is right now. And if that happened to Anne Heche just because like she was, a lesbian for like a couple of years, that the industry was just like, no thanks. We don't, you're totally tarnished now, your reputation. No one's gonna buy you, being a heterosexual in a movie. I feel like with Amber Heard, where she's just considered this liar, gold digger who just craps on people's beds and can't control her bowels, I just don't see studios wanting to put money behind that. And she's getting a little older. I mean, that's the harsh truth of Hollywood. So like once you're like in your late 30s in Hollywood as a woman, I think that it gets a little harder for them, and it gets harder for everyone, but for women especially. So I feel a little bad for Amber Heard. I don't wish ill on anyone. And I don't know. We'll see what how like I said, I gave my opinion. I think she should maybe do that adult film thing or OnlyFans. Amber, if you need any advice, give me a call, and I'd be happy. Also, I'm a lawyer, Amber, so hit me up. And I do know how to ask questions without getting objected to every single second. So okay, thanks again, and we'll see you next time. And please subscribe. Uh, Appreciate it. Bye.